Alright, so first I want to start by saying Kala Lal Yahweh, Washem, Yahushai, Washem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of James Crum Stone. And salutation to you all came out there pushing the truth in sincerity, the hopeful leg. Shalom once more. This is a brother Kanan from James, Jamaica, and beside me we have
Kazak.
Alright. Now, just want to do a little exhortation and a little strengthening lesson basically for brothers out there, you know what I mean? Brothers that are basically in the truth already, are in the know. And even for upcoming brothers, because this lesson, our title, our topic, is basically that once you come to this truth, hell is a must. You know what I mean? There's no going around that. You know what I mean? That the first thing you have to, well, not necessarily the first thing, but you have to understand that hell is a must. You know what I mean? So you're gonna catch hell, and you're not gonna feel good. You know what I mean? But the mindset of understanding the process and basically knowing the end result should be enough to basically quench um, that uneasy feeling, because that uneasy feeling starts basically you getting purged or getting chastened for the kingdom to come. You know what I mean? Now, I know for me start off simple because I say hell is a must. Um, it's just like saying, like a Jamaicans put it, so-called Jamaicans. I'm gonna say this real quick. This truth is for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans predominantly. You are the true biblical Israelites according to the Bible. And I mean the sons and daughters of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Alright? Now, in Jamaica, they have a saying that if you want good, you know have to run. You know what I mean? Basically, it's the same thing. In order for us to enter into the kingdom, we have to catch hell and we have to go through that hell, just like in 2nd Ezra 7. You know what I mean? Basically, you have to walk that part where fire up on one side and the water up on the next side. You know what I mean? The city is in a open field, but the part to go through it is a narrow path. And if you don't want the narrow path, then you're gonna enter into the well, if I want to say, yeah, nice city. And I mean, you get different example of the same thing. You know what I mean? But just to clear up what is hell, because that are the first thing where someone who might not familiar with the truth stumble upon. Because some of the myth out there that hell is this place you burn and you know what I mean on 3 teeth fall down there with a man that 3 teeth fall. You know what I mean? It's not according to the Bible. Those are Greek mythology and fables. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna pull the first precept to explain what we mean by hell is a must. You know what I mean? Alright, give me Jonah 2 and start from what? Jonah 2 1 to 2.
Alright, so this is Jonah 2 and verse 1. He said, Then Jonah prayed unto Yahweh of his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto Yahweh, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I.
So Jonah was swallowed by a great fish. You know what I mean? And if you know the story of Jonah basically like run from him task, you know what I mean? But once the most I call you hard doing for the certain things it have to get done. And you're gonna catch hell in that. So the main part in that is that what Jonah was in tribulation. You know what I mean? And that was referred to as the hell. So when we say you're gonna catch hell, you're gonna catch tribulation, you're gonna catch distress, you know what I mean? You're gonna go through sufferings. And that which leads to the next principle we have, which is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. I'm going to start from verse 1.
Alright, he says, My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right, so it's supposed to prepare your soul for temptation. Continue.
Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble.
Right.
Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayst be increased at thy last end.
Right, continue.
Alright. Let's go through chapter. Alright.
yourself, right?
So verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Mhm.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Right.
Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
Right.
Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
Right. Now, main reason for doing this lesson is basically, we know as we start speaking about hell, but everybody I catch hell. Everybody does catch hell because I would say it's a must. You know what I mean? But there's a thing where you catching hell basically bring to you, which is distress of the mind. You know what I mean? And feeling awkward at times based upon the situation where you might be in. You know what I mean? You might in a situation where you have kids or children, you know what I mean, or a family, and the hell where I catch. If it was a different scenario where you were on your own, you know what I mean, you might pray different, but because you have a responsibility where burden upon your mind and you try to think about how this can get better and you know you'll catch hell where you think about like we can go and fend it because say the hell will come but you still have to live. So that can be a burdensome upon your mind. You know what I mean? And different scenarios is that this that's why I set your mind alright because them things that will play your mind where you focus upon the hell of you're in at the time than really focusing on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which is the person or the power bringing you the hell. But when you just do what? Draw close to him so them can actually take you out of the hell. And I mean, because at the times, can speak as present situations. Now, even myself, I can testify of times before, and even now, where kind of scenarios basically play your mind, you know what I mean? You might in a state where I said, John, no, this I reach me. You know, say, there's help, but too because you've been going through that for so much time period, it start fatigue, you start take your mind, you start play for your mind. You know what I mean?
And you don't know, so basically within your flesh, you know what I mean? And hey, the flesh, if I want thing about flesh, flesh not really like discomfort. You see me? So the flesh I go always find a way can
try come out of it.
Right. So you go find yourself. So even though we know say look, you how about Hashem Yahushua you bring it and him alone can take it off. You still go find yourself even think and say what we can do to fix this and what we can do to fix that. And then eventually you go remember say look, eventually through trying and trying and trying, you see say it now work, you know what I mean? Eventually the spirit will go kick in and say, look at the Heavenly Father do it.
Right.
Just left it to him.
Right. And nothing is wrong with trying because let me explain. I'm sure a certain things because the trying part is a testing part, because it tests your faith also. You know what I mean? Because we can speak of myself in scenarios and other brothers also witness. You know what I mean? And I said them not try. You know what I mean? See situation where them try, and it's like it just things just you say why everything we put my hand to is like it turn to that. You're gonna have that because it's also the truth still, you know what I mean? Because the more I test you and I see what amount of pressure you can bear. So you try and you have your faith and you see me and then whatever you try, work out and I say most I see if I give up, you know what I mean, I go try again and every seven time fall, seven time rise. You know what I mean? You go try, you go feel, you go try, you go feel because it's a part of the journey and a part of the testing. You know what I mean? You can continue the precept, brother.
Verse 8 it says, Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy.
So we still have a hope, even though we're catching the L, because we know at the end of this, there is a kingdom. There's a kingdom prepared for us. You know what I mean? And everything that take place at this present moment is temporary. You know what I mean? I was still away from the big bang, the big where we just don't give a freak. But because things still have to continue at this time,
Right.
you know what I mean? You're not gonna just lay flat and play dead. You know what I mean? You still have to do the fight, which nothing is wrong. But just you know, all of that you have to remember that take it cheerful. Don't make it burden you. But yeah, get the distress because a lot of time that happen to it. You know what I mean? I didn't really sometimes not because of our mindset or our see ourselves in ourselves, but because of how we see people perceive us. You know what I mean? Oh, our family are right there, one God. Isn't it? You know what I mean? But let's get to the next scripture. This is option right here. Thessalonians 3, 1 to 4.
Alright, so this is 1 Thessalonians 3 and 1.
1.
Alright, wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone, and sent Timotheus, our brother and minister of God, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Christ, to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith.
Right, so this is where point really they don't further, but I want to point out a few things here also. You know what I mean? We are also um, ministers, servants, to basically help comfort each other. You know what I mean? We are here to bear one another's burden because sometimes you will try take it on yourself and you self-destruct. You know what I mean? The most I set up a brotherhood, the most I set up a organization, technically, basically, a kingdom presently. As right now is looking at the camps worldwide. You're seeing a small um, portray our image of the kingdom to come. You know what I mean? And we have to basically learn how to bear each other burden within that kingdom. You know what I mean? And as I say, sometimes you play your mind, you say, I ask a brother for that thing because the last week and the week before and the week before, you see me? Yeah, you know what I mean? But we try to basically establish brothers in a sense where your brothers can basically get on them foot on them own. But if so be the case with the most I try, what we're going to do, we have to help the same way. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be ashamed or feel less than yourself. You know what I mean? Say, you have to seek assistance. Brother, all we need assistance. You know what I mean? All we need assistance, all we need help. And we have to think about each other also, and the fact that all we need help because you yourself need help. Me myself need help. You see me? Even prior before this, them same things that we talk about, we used to have hell with it mentally. Like, because you're on person, you want just all out and whatever situation you're in, you just bear it. You see me? But sometimes all you need to do is just ask for the help. You know what I mean? And it's just that it's a mental thing where you feel like, yo, John was there, I'm man enough for myself, but it's a mental thing. As I say, other brothers have different because now a family where, I have a child where I go say, John, my youth is nice because I look towards me. So when my youth turn to me now, I see me and my youth hungry or whatever means or ways that I don't even know if I tell a brother how that feel. Listen me, because man, in a situation, you know what I mean. But you being the support, that person, protection and support, you feel less than yourself. But it shouldn't be like that, you know what I mean? Because we are slaves, and we are basically here to bear punishment, and we have to remember that we are being punished, and we just have to just turn to our power, Washing our shy, and just beg for mercy continuously. You know what I mean? Continue, bro.
Right, verse 3 again says that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
And even, so like I've got you, even though we need brothers to come out and ask or talk, we also have to be, they call that now,
Empathetic.
no man, yeah, that good, but my brother's keeper, we have to be our brother's keeper, so And if you know the word keep, it means to watch. You know what I mean? So we have to watch out for brothers. We know brother situation. You know what I mean? We have to kind of really check in moral. You see me? And even with the heads them said you have to check in on the brother situation and make sure say yo, cause them thing can prevent brothers from even being fruitful like them should, you know, cause their mind wearied with the cares of the world, which you know you're supposed to up on a level where you're supposed to, but everybody have some weakness, yo. You know what I mean? I said sometimes you're not able to see the weakness, but sometimes you can see it. And if you see it, then you're not supposed to play the blind eye. That's why we have to be what comforters to each other's. You know what I mean? Continue, bro. Are you want to say something too? Oh, God.
Alright, verse 4 says, "For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and ye know. For this cause, when I could no longer forbear, I sent to know your faith, lest by some means the tempter have tempted you, and our labor be in vain."
Right. You know what I mean? So we have to know each other's state. And nobody is supposed to even be moved either. Okay, you're supposed to know from the beginning that this is what you're called to. You know what I mean? But yeah, still in flesh. You are God's in flesh, but your flesh still here. And you still have to have the fight for people move in the flesh. Go to James 2. Very quick.
Alright, so this is James 2 and verse 14. It says, "What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have no works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, be you warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit?"
Right, what that profit? You know what I mean? We can't just say, yo, brothers, you know, we are catch hell, man. You know what I mean? So, apartheid truth, man, they don't know you are catch hell. So, yeah, because you know, you are catch hell, so we not be a supporter of each other. You know what I mean? We still have to do that part there because that also is um, one of our job and duty. You know what I mean? For be brother's keeper. And you know what I mean? Bible also tell us say, yo, let not a man look upon his own, but upon other basically don't be selfish, you know, put it away there. You know what I mean? So we're not just there for ourselves. We are servants for each other. You know what I mean? And we have to put that on the forefront in our duty because the most I now gonna make everybody set. You know what I mean? It after you have the duality, you got brothers that might be in a good state, and you got brothers that gonna be in a not so good state. But when everything all work out, you know what I mean, we should all be good. You know what I mean? That we are saying that brothers just me don't buy say there is we still encourage that level of self I use the word
Selfless.
no I use the word even self um like you are the one thing and but still have to have a level of you can meet it you can basically business wise um managing our household said we not say everybody can be that way there but we still push that energy as I mean we still push say oh look here you know what I mean can try this you can try that we still think of means and ways and sometimes we can dig even deeper into it you know what I mean because we must be we don't want to say self-sufficient or them because we don't know everything come from the most I see them you know what I mean we don't have to look like say oh we are doing anything of ourselves but you understand what I mean you know what I mean we still try you know what I mean? Then just lay back and say, oh, brothers are going to deal with this. You know what I mean? So I have a priest on me, what? Or,
Finishes.
okay.
Um, which probably 14. Yeah, and it says, and one of you say unto them, Depart in peace, and be you warmed and filled. Notwithstanding, ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit?
Right, yeah, because you know, you're still going to left your yard and whatever situation you're in, you know. Isn't it? So you cannot shut up your bubbles until just like your brother, word, word, word. And I mean, actions speak louder than words. And I mean, and actually, love is also part of showing actions. And I mean, let's just not love in words, but in deeds. You see me? So we have to we have to we have to um, embody these attributes and put it to work. You know what I mean? Because faith without work is dead. We have to put it to work. So you have an next precept or just go to Galatians. Alright.
Alright, so this is Galatians 6.
And the reason we do the lesson because I would say situations we know it got the Bible tell you, and I mean we expect these things, and I mean we're seeing these things time upon time. Situation whether gonna be up, whether gonna be down. At the end of the day, we still have to be our brother's keeper. You know what I mean? And we still have to make sure that brother don't get in his head say, yo, look here. But you're supposed to develop yourself to know that, look here, this is the most side thing. And if the most side provide you fair through that means and ways. Don't feel like we about it, yo. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to go and pray to the most side for mercy because you're going through the hell because that's what it did it for. It did it for to make you purge your infirmities and seek mercies because we're not worthy. None of us are really worthy of the kingdom. We're worthy because Yahushua mercy basically cleanse us and so we're worthy. You know, him just say, yo, me I go on because I'm more going, but action wise we are not worthy for of it. You know what I mean? Go Galatians.
Alright, so this is Galatians 1. Alright, 6 and verse. So 1
Start from 9.
9.
Yeah.
Alright, it says, let us not be weary in well doing, for
Right.
in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right, so he said, let us not be weary in well doing, and you got two way because helping out a brother is also well doing. Well, any form of well doing, it don't matter how you put it that way. Any form of well doing is well doing. You know what I mean? Let us not get weary in that. So help out a brother for a million or 7 times. So what? You know what I mean? You needing help out a million or 7 times. So what? You see me? It's a need. You know what I mean?
Gone.
So you'd have to get sorted out. So don't make that burn you. Continue, bro.
Alright, I say, as we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men.
Right. It's as we
Especially-
have opportunity, let us do good to all men. Go on.
especially unto them who are of the household of faith.
Right. So we are of the household of faith, the hopeful elect. You know what I mean? We are, as we always say, we only have ourselves. We only have Yahweh, one Yahweh Shai, and the elect. You know what I mean? The entire world is going to turn against us. You know what I mean? Well, due to this world and the other nations going to be against us. You know what I mean? Well, the elect is the elect. You know what I mean? So the Most High, if you're not with me, you're against me. That's what the Most High says. Anybody that is not with the Most High is going to be against us. Right? And that's how it's going to be. So we have to basically look out for each other in all aspects. Even mentally, sometimes you have to be able to pull up yourself. You know what I mean? But sometimes it takes another person to actually pull you up. No, we're not saying that when I go out being like a chat one little kiddo and after you know all the time because we're supposed to be growing and becoming men in this truth. You know what I mean? And a man can know when he needs to pull him socks up. You know what I mean? So if we're not reaching that stage, then we're lacking. But the lesson is really to show that look here, hell is a must, yo. Catching hell is a must. It's not a if, but nor maybe. You know what I mean? Or if nor maybe. You know what I mean? It's a must, and we have to understand how to deal with it and not be burdened down to the point where it breaks us. You know what I mean? And the distress to the mind can lead to that. So get your mind right. You know what I mean? Pray fast, seek assistance. The support team is there. So if that have to do that, yo. I mean, have anything you want to say?
That's cool, then.
Alright, so with that again, I want to say, Kal Alal Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakwadash. Again, double honors to the apostles and elders of James Strong Stone, and to you came out there pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.